Hello, this is teamfortress.tv, and this is week 3 of ETF2L. And I'm here. My name is Eemes, and I'm here with Console as my co-caster. He's been rushed in at the last minute, and I've also got Beta on production. But we won't be speaking to Beta because he's on production. So, Console, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. I've had a cold, but I'm recovering, and my throat's feeling good enough to cast. Looking forward to casting some European Team Fortress 2. Don't get a lot of chances to do it. I'm usually stuck over on the NA side of things.
That's great. I'm actually recovering from a cold too, but I think we'll get through it. Apparently, oh my goodness, what have we here? Okay, so we have got our. Well, the caster that was supposed to be here has arrived, Grumpy.
Sorry.
So potentially, I think Console will be actually heading out as Grumpy was the scheduled man to be here. So yeah, there we go. Hello, Grumpy. I think the game is actually starting right now, but I'll take it away, I guess, while you get in the server.
Yeah, my apologies.
Bye, friends. Thank you for having me.
Briefly. All right. Okay, so this is ETF2L week 3, Ascent versus Avant de Guingamp, and this is the first middle. Have GrumpyKoi going very deep aggressively here onto Dr. Phil, but Credo is sniping. He will pick up his units straight away, and looking pretty difficult for the Frenchies now. They're going to have to be pretty passive behind point here. Am's walking so aggressively over top left here, and they're going to get a lot of damage onto Amarok as well, and Ascent have pretty much taken the point here. It's a 5v4, but with Credo sniping on Rock, they're just going to have to back out the Frenchies. So nice mid from Ascent there, and we see straight off the bat, Credu is sniping. He's got a headshot pretty much immediately, and that's probably how they're going to look to continue to play this game, as Credu is probably the best sniper in Europe at the moment. How are you doing, Grumpy? Any progress?
My apologies, I got completely destroyed by traffic, and I'm just struggling to get into the server, so you're going to have to solo cast a little bit more, my friend, and then I will be with you.
Do you see both teams at 100% here? The Frenchies going to be wandering in through this cliff area, I think, probably looking to take a trade fairly soon on probably Amarok, I suppose. They've used him quite aggressively now, not gone too much done with it. Connor has actually forced there, and they're going to have to back up, but the Uber is a lot worse for the Frenchies. Amarok's going to get chased through main. Am's going very aggressive here, and Korbek has also died on the flank, and the Uber is just so much better for Ascent, actually. They've gone Sands, pretty much every single player has been taken out on the Frenchies, and yeah, they're pretty much going to have to leave there. Both scouts are still alive, but it's a decent advantage for Connor here, and just absolutely nothing coming out of that for the Frenchies there. I mean, really, when you have a sniper on the enemy team, you don't really want to take the demo in the trade.
It's very difficult trying to deal with a sniper, just because it's like it just slows everything down so quickly, doesn't it?
God, yeah. You're not connected. Let me know when you're here. Okay. So the Frenchies have actually re-aggressed here pretty effectively. Amra's going to get a lot of damage on the Dr. Phil, but he will actually go down, and once again Sans is dead. They have gotten Credi, but that's pretty much the only pick that they've gotten. Korbek's going for a deep bomb onto Connor, but he's getting absolutely nothing, and currently the Frenchies have got really no answer at all to this Credi sniper. I mean, they managed to kill him, but they didn't kill a single other player, so yeah, they're getting completely torn apart by Ascent on products here. As we do see a full Uber advantage for Connor, he's going to be sitting on point pretty safe. Frenchies could potentially go in for a sack wave here, but it's going to be difficult for them because, well, it's only a minute left for Ascent, and they need to really try and make up the ground. Korbek's going to go very aggressively onto Credi, and actually will get taken down by Zunas. It's this nice soldier coordination, but they've gone super aggressive with the Uber with Ams and Dr. Phil. And they're going to take out both Nevo and Sans and Korbek, and pretty much everyone is dead apart from Amarok, and Amarok is going to come in for a bomb now, but he's going to get absolutely nothing done. Hits one pipe, I think, but not too much for him to be able to do there. It's just, wow, it's really rough stuff. Ascent.
How would you personally kind of deal with a sniper? Like, from your experience, what would you say is the best course of action playing against someone like Credo in this situation?
Well, it's always the disadvantage of the sniper is that you don't have so much of a flank, right? So you can try and get through there and basically get your soldiers behind, make it really chaotic. But what you cannot do is, as what Neo just did, is lose players before you actually start the fight, because then you're just going to get picked apart and you'll be 5v6 and slowly lose players and bleed, and have absolutely, your soldiers are going to get completely isolated when they do go in for the sniper. And this is what Ascent are so good at doing. They're just sitting really far back basically and making it really hard for the soldiers to get in behind at all. And in fact, the Frenchies haven't even got any time on the board, a single cap this round, so they're going to need to change something up here if they want to start getting anything out of this product map.
It's always very interesting whenever I see see like Ascent or Seven play products, because they kind of do this death ball around point a lot of the times, and they just deal with every individual. If you're not coordinated on like trying to deal with that ball, it's very difficult, because they can just easily pick up a player one by one. As we do see on this second mid, Korvac and Azunas have already gone out behind. Dr. Phil has actually ended up going down though, as well as Drax, so the Frenchies actually in a good position to clean up on some players, do get Credu, and now they're trying to deal with Eemes, but Eemes is just got too much power, and Talentus is going to help him now, and they may be able to win this. Oh no, as Eemes does go down, Talentus the only player left for Ascent. They just can't do anything.
Ridiculously long time here for those two scouts to die.
Ages.
I think perhaps an indication of the superior scout DM probably on Ascent. But what was really nice to see there was Amarok committing over point, getting a frag almost immediately onto Dr. Phil, out DMing him, and you know, the Guingamp, one of on the Guingamp, the Frenchies, just playing really aggressive on that mid and counteracting the sniper pretty effectively, as they do have full advantage here, but they're going to just be playing passive behind point, waiting for Ascent.
Yeah, they do seem to be looking to hold quite passively, as Slenders actually does go in and try and get some pressure onto Neo, but Neo does get saved by his teammate. And now they're looking to push across point right now. Azunas is trying to create a bit of a distraction as Corbin goes in, actually picks up Dr. Phil and Credu, going down to Neo. Just, oh no, they used. Drag gets the force. That's actually not too bad, because now they can just play off that sack wave, and yeah, well done by them.
Yeah, that was almost a perfect bit of aggression there by the Frenchies, you know, getting 4 picks so quickly, because Credu, I mean, you know, he can hit heads at long range when he's not pressured, but when the Frenchies commit so hard to them, he can be, you know, it's kind of difficult to play sniper in that situation. But a really nice trap kill from Amarok onto Salentes will delay them a lot here. They do have Uber advantage, they're going to be walking in from Cliff, but 5v6 and with a sniper behind who's going to get taken out right now by Azunas. It's going to be a really questionable Uber for them, and Connor's just kind of dancing around on point, but he's looking a bit lost here. Uber is solo Uber on Eemes now.
He did a really nice bomb, and they've actually ended up using Ascent, and they've cleaned up 2 players, Azunas and Amarok, but with Drak going down as well, Sans is very much alive and has got a 60% Uber ad, and I think they wanted to push already into the point and push away Ascent.
Yeah, they can have a pick here, so they're able to push them out pretty effectively. They just do need to watch out for Credu, who is up at this point, and there's no Uber up for Guingamp yet, so they really need to watch out for him. It's, you know, they're pressuring pretty slowly here, and actually Amarok will go down, so this is pretty unfortunate, because they're 90% with Uber, but no demo to take it in is going to really stifle their efforts to do that.
Yeah, Azunas did try and apply some pressure to Credu, but it doesn't matter as he gets Sans. Neo and Nevo join him in the respawn queue, and with only Amarok up, the Frenchies are in quite an awkward position right now.
Yeah, it was, I mean, really in that situation, the Frenchies had a pretty dominant hold on the round with 1 minute 30 left to Ascent's like 2 minutes 30. They could have just waited for that Uber, played really passive until they got it, and then just gone aggressive. They didn't need to get a whole lot of kills with the Uber or anything, they just needed to, you know, trade time slowly, pretty much. That's what they need to do, but they haven't
nice,
done that.
oh, nice hold from Connor there. Sorry to interrupt you, my friend, but that was some good movement from him. He managed to stay alive for a long old time before Azunas actually gets the force, and the sack wave works pretty well. Sorry about that, my friend.
Yeah, crucially, I mean, this time they didn't lose anyone before the sack wave, right? So they got all their explosive classes in very deep, and they were able to get something from it. That's what they need to do pretty much this whole time. Not lose anyone as they approach the point, which can be pretty difficult because the sight lines are so open on this map. And then once they're ready, they all commit together, and they can get a lot out of the push if they do that correctly.
I think this is really risky right now. Credu is still on sniper, and they've actually come out at 90%. So if Credu can get a hero shot from box, which he's trying to do right now, they have got Uber though. They are going to push across the point. They're not doing too much. They've got Nevo on the Pyro. We haven't seen that in so long as Azunas actually goes and gets Credu, does get the trade, but it means that Ascent have to back up. There used to be a whole period where people used to like main Pyro on this map, but they've actually used it to push off the point. Nevo doing some really nice work, Eemes. And the exchange is looking a bit better for Ascent, but Korvac actually comes in, deals some wonderful damage, and as Salentes does go down, I think Ascent are going to back out from that one, Eemes.
This is looking pretty strong for Guingamp there, but they did just finally lose that player to to credit, and actually the Connor will go down, so really nice aggression from Guingamp. They do have the point, so it's going to be kind of difficult for them. Sans is probably going to go down here, but they have gotten that med frag, and it will be a fairly even fight after Ascent probably do eventually cap this out. Although actually, Zunis is going to frag Predu completely for free, and Solantes is probably going to have to leave it. Going to go down, I expect, to Nevo, although Nevo doesn't want to overextend it. He's taking the fight, and that's a nice actual frag by Nevo, but he is probably going to get caught, and actually Neo's going to die as well, so this is kind of... Maybe not, but it's questionable play from the Frenchies to extend that far. But they have got a nice bit of chunk of time off the clock there, so it's a decent attempt.
Yeah, they'll be if they can just whittle this down and stop Ascent from really getting that much pressure onto the point. They'll do pretty well, but they do lose it, and now they've got 20 seconds left to a minute of Ascent, and now Ascent need to start either clearing house or just getting a solid hold. Like Nevo's pressing against the point. I don't feel like the Frenchies are going to let this go easily, Eemes.
They're kind of huddling behind point at the moment, just getting ready to go forward. Now Nevo is leading the charge into them. Going to commit over point. Look, it feels very close. He's probably going to go down. Kind of way too over aggressive there. The soldier's going to come in from left side, but actually it's really nice aggression. Connor has gone down. They just need to make sure they don't get headshot by Credu now, and they'll be winning this fight pretty much for free. Although Ams has hit some nice shots and a headshot.
Yeah, Credu just ringing out, and now they've all gone into this death bit area just for the reason of oh, Credu overextends onto the point, and Ams goes down as well. They've managed to cap this up, but there's only 2 players left. Korbak and Azunas aren't going to be able to clean up all these players, and Solentes just ends up denying Azunas, and that's going to be back in favour for Ascent right now. But the Frenchies can do it, 100%.
They can definitely do it. They've got 25 seconds. Connor's on 50%, so they really need to get to him before he gets this Uber, but they can make this work if they have a successful dry push. They just need to not lose anyone to Credu early in the fight, and they have a decent shot of winning it.
Drax actually just gone straight onto Sans, nearly actually cleans him up, but Neo does protect. However, Never did go down. Sans actually gets picked up by Credu. It's just so hard when you're pushing into a sniper like that to not get picked up as a medic, and they're actually keeping control of point. There's a bit of a trade going on where Connor actually kills Neo. Zunas is trying his best on the point. They're going to deny it, and Never is actually in. But Amarok! Amarok pushing players off the point, but I don't think they're going to be able to do it. They've lost someone else to Credu.
That's
good work from Ascent to deny them point, but nice attempt from the Frenchies.
Yeah, they've been getting a lot closer here. The Frenchies just what they've been doing it pretty well so far is getting players forward without getting picked and then fully committing together. And a lot of the times they've done that, they've managed to, if they can take ground for free before they go forward as a team, then they can actually get stuff out of this. Otherwise, it's going to be too hard for them to cover so much distance to get to the sniper. As Korbak goes very deep on the top of this mid.
Yeah, and they do actually get Credu very early. They do lose their soldiers for it, so maybe Drak can create a bit of chaos as he does go straight in onto Amarok, pushes him off the point, and in just not being able to do any contention at all. I think they're probably going to cap this up quite nicely, but we are seeing the Frenchies actually. Amarok gets picked up by Dr. Phil. Korbak goes in behind though, trying to get onto Connor. And actually, Azunas using that opportunity to deal a decent amount of damage. Connor may get picked up here. He's going to get picked up. He walks into Korbak.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate from Connor there. Trying to desperately get away, he just runs straight into the loving arms of Korbak, and he was happy to give him the gift of death with a nice tasty direct. And it was nice play from Phil there, because Ascent were one player down, but Phil destroyed Amarok as he got onto point. But
he
they will
gets the force.
Finally force off the Uber here. I'm just going to die to a nice pipe from Amarok, and this is pretty much a reset here. I'd like to see the Frenchies play a bit aggressively to not give the snipers space to just take free shots of them. So it looked like they're going to try and do that as they're posturing a little bit towards the enemy cliff.
Yeah, they're looking to deny that angle from Credu, but Credu's walking up through lower, and actually Azunas goes straight onto Solantes, may pick him out, but everyone on the Frenchies team are so low. And they do lose Azunas. Ams is starting the pressure point right now. They really need to just... They haven't got any soldiers behind it. They can abuse the fact that they've got 2 soldiers and keep them behind as much as possible. I feel like they're going to really start clawing this back.
I do like to see that though from the Frenchies, because often in these fights they've maybe been probably losing the fight, but they needn't have lost Sans. But they committed and then completely wiped, and it's been terrible for them. But this time they saved Sans' life. He's just going to get out for free, and now they're able to take another fight with full pretty much Uber. And actually, so with that sack wave there, Azunas was able to get the nice frag onto Connor, so it's full advantage for the Frenchies here.
Oh, I do apologise. I pressed the wrong button.
Forgive you.
I'm not used to this push-to-talk business. I'm one of those annoying people that has voice activity all the time. But back to the game, and actually the Frenchies have only just used now. They have exchanged. They have lost players though, and I don't think they've used it to their best advantage. They did pick up Connor, but Sans goes down, and it's not going to be a big ad, but they're going to have it, their meds up at the exact same time.
Yeah, that's always the problem when you commit so deep into the enemy teams, basically behind their house to try and frag the medic. They did catch Connor, but they are going to get cleaned up on pretty effectively, and you know, that means that they're not going to be able to use that heal advantage that they were kind of looking for. But the fact that there was a very scrappy DM fight there, and that the respawn advantage for the Frenchies not having the point kind of favoured them, and they've been able to retake it with those spawns pretty easily.
It's pretty well done, pretty well recontested by the Frenchies, and now Eemes
my god!
Amarok! Oh!
And that's Amarok's an absolute beast!
Oh my god! What just happened? Like,
so that's the infamous trap on cliff, right? You always want to get that trap up, you know, it's on the little fence there. You always want to try and get that up nice and early if you have any space to do so, and I think it was that trap anyway, and then Ascent just somehow not checking it and getting absolutely nuked, and then he, you know, added flourish. Oh my god, and there's an absolute crunch here by the soldiers from Guingamp. Can they kill Connor here as well, potentially, if they get into the last... Oh, okay.
Well, Connor got super low there, though. That was really, really risky, but well forward-holded by the Frenchies. Like, Azunas and Korbak just create this meat grinder of a choke, and they just could not get through.
Yeah. I mean, suddenly, you know, it's been a sense game so far, but the Frenchies have definitely had their moments, and these look like some of them. They're getting another absolute nuke onto them on the left side. The force will come off, actually, and Connor does still have Uber, but it is a significant time advantage for the Frenchies now, and it's going to take a while for Ascent to break this forward hold and get all the way to point.
The worst thing is, if they can keep hold of this forward hold right now, one thing they'll really be able to do is they'll be able to force their Uber so early, so they won't be able to use it to actually contest the point.
Amarok!
Oh my god!
He's done it again!
Did they not check it?
It's, well no, this is them trying to get a sort of weird... I mean, obviously the demo already holds Cliff in the forward hold, but sometimes he doesn't pay attention, you can kind of bust through. But Amarok, he was watching it, he saw they were coming, and he would get the nice 3k and just delay them there once again. With all that time off the clock, and Sans nearly with his own Uber, it's going to be very difficult for Ascent to start winning this round. If they will Uber aggressively in here, Sans just needs to survive, he's 95%, backing out on Cliff, but they have gotten his Uber now, they should be able to recontest probably, or they may just wait.
Oh, really, really nice recontest from them. They have used their Uber now. They push people off. They can really do this. Like, Phil's trapped in connector right now. He is coming onto the point, but there's no blue players left to defend but Korbak and Neo. Where's the rest of their team? Come on, the reinforcements. We need reinforcements.
I mean, this is part of the problem when you have a sniper so far back like that, you know. I mean, there was only Neo and Korbak alive there, but they had a whole Uber to just jump around, kill whoever they pleased, and, you know, both pretty much full HP. Just a pretty free fight for them after they killed Connor, overextending basically with that Uber because they had to try and catch out Sans, and he was not caught out. He got his Uber, and they basically just crushed them with it. So the Frenchies back in this game in a real way, looking really, really strong on that round.
Yeah, incredibly, and it has brought the scoreline to 2-1 to Ascent and 1 to Guingamp. Guingamp, sorry. I think I don't have a clue. I'm going to call them Frenchies to not embarrass myself more. But Korbak actually goes down, trying to just get on to all the guys in Ascent. Did bunch them together, did bunch Credo with them, but Credo right now has ended up going down. But that's not. Ascent are still doing a good job of just dealing damage and pushing them off. They've done some really good pressure and controlling all of the areas. It's just good work from them. I feel like Phil's doing quite a big impact right now.
Well, it was pretty decent. I mean,
until then.
Well, it was, but essentially, so the soldiers, they essentially went so far back to the soldiers, they lost a lot of ground, and even though they had a pick advantage because they did kill the soldiers, they were unable to come forward and retake the ground with those player advantages because Amma denied them pretty well on point. And a really aggressive Uber here from Ascent in onto them, but it's much, much worse their trade, and they're going to chase actually, and Connor will go down, so that's huge from Neo there, chasing with the Uber very effectively. Amma's going to be committed on Cliff, may go down to Drac. But the rest of us, he will get a nice fragment of Ams though, and the rest of the Frenchies just going to be back safe behind point here.
And they have got that advantage, even though very small, does mean that they just need to keep Credu from sniping their med. I think that's the main plan right now. I feel like Drac maybe was looking to force the med into the open, but yeah, they're just... it's such an easy, slow push that they've done right now, where they've just slowly got the pressure onto the point, taking it, keeping hold of it right now, and just... I feel like the Frenchies really need to get behind and start bullying Credu once more.
I do like this decision from the Frenchies to just wait for this Uber advantage, because I mean they have a decent amount of time advantage still, and they just need to try and use this Uber, actually use the things that they do have. They're going to go in aggressively now with this Uber. Sun's popping through, Korvax jumping very deep into the sniper, and they could catch out Phil here probably on the left side. They're going to chase very deep, and Connor's on cliff, and he will go down. That's a fantastic Uber. Connor was very close there, but Sans with a 20% advantage is able to utilize it, and really effectively.
And now Drax going on to Sans and Neo. But Amarok's just there, helping out, getting the Slentes down.
He's going to go on to him. Cheeky little two-shot from Neo.
I mean, I feel like Ams, there is a reality where Ams could have won that 1v3. But...
for words, but I think the Frenchies they're turning up at the moment.
They're definitely turning up. Like... You would think maybe, but Neo's just been doing... They've all been doing a really good job, especially Azunas and Korvax, but little lapse in concentration means that Credu can get onto Sans. Now, Ams and Slentes do go down though. That's 3 for all. Yeah, 3 for 3. Connor's still alive, but Amarok and Neo are in a position to really bully onto Connor.
Yeah, it was a interesting play from Neo there. He got in behind. He could have potentially had to play onto Connor, but he actually went for the sniper instead, so that was kind of questionable from him. And decent... pretty huge Uber advantage here from Ascent, as Frenchies basically just need to try and get a force here. Neo is in behind trying to make some distraction, but he's probably just going to get cleaned up in-house. And the Frenchies, Korvax going to go deep for a jump, both soldiers onto Connor. He's super weak, and he will actually force. Amma's going to try and go in. He will actually get out just about on the left side there, so it's nicely played for him to survive that. And after all that, I mean, Ascent finally got on the point, but they're a minute down. If the Frenchies can have another great Uber like they did last time, they're going to look set to win this round.
Yeah, the Frenchies did a really good sack wave there. I like the... It's risky, but I like bringing the med to Cliff to give everyone a buff, like really close to the point. And they managed to get that force really nicely out of Connor. And now they're going to recontest. They have to watch for Credu though. I feel like they have to wait for Azunas and Korvax to get in behind before they're able to really start pushing forward, because Credu just has this sight line locked.
Definitely, but it's been really fantastic to see both the soldiers and the demo going aggressive with these Ubers and taking so much space and just supporting one another. They can get really far in. Amma's going to jump deep, Illa's going to go down, Phil down in lobby, in house there, I mean, and they've gotten 3 frags. Connor is, however, all the way in spawn, not getting caught again. Ams has probably told him, don't get caught by these things, but actually Neo's going to run all the way into spawn and kill Ams. So interesting, not a very great trade by Korvax, because he will have a worse spawn with the Frenchies having capped the point, but it's an Uber advantage for Ascent here, so they will be able to retake fairly quickly if they don't drop.
Yep, and I feel like the Frenchies are doing a really good job against Ascent right now, but Azunas actually gets picked up as they start going forward onto Death Pit. They need to force this Uber as soon as possible, so Korvax needs to maybe work some magic, try and get onto Connor. If Connor overextends just a little bit, they'll probably be able to get the force.
So potentially here they may be going for a sack wave, or more likely they're going to wait for their Uber, trying to get a trade, maybe get a soldier behind after the trade, and try and wreak some havoc onto the sniper. As yeah, we do see Sans just waiting here for his Uber on the right side, taking a bit of damage as he walks up, but he'll be more or less safe as long as he doesn't peek the sight line. And here they are coming up the right side, heading towards point, probably going to Uber fairly soon, I expect.
Yeah, Korvax looking to create some space left side for Azunas to go in and try and distract Credu. Credu completely unfazed. Azunas does go down, never going down as well. The Ubers have been exchanged, and that's another blue player going down. That's Amarok. Korvax in behind. I feel like Ascent might be able to hold this, and I think that might be it.
It was pretty tragic with Amarok being dropped there, actually, in that Uber, because he definitely could have had an impact in that. But what I really don't like seeing is when they have a sniper, they're taking the demo Uber in. It's kind of questionable, but Guingamp are making a nice go of this, actually. They're going to get quite aggressive onto points, getting some good damage, although neither has been headshot by Credu. It's 4 versus 4 right now. Amarok very aggressive on point. Credu's just sniping heads from Cliff. Guingamp looked like they get set to cap this. Dr. Phil has something to say about it. He's going to help get a nice frag onto Neo, but he will go down. kind of scrappy here, but Guingamp looked like they were able to just about take the point, but Sans has died.
Oh, Credu. And Drag does go down, but I feel like they're not going to be able to hold it too long. They are losing a lot of players. They managed to get Credu though, some nice pipes from Amarok, but he does end up going down to Eemes, and they're just going to clunch all these players together, and that's going to be the map to Ascent.
Yeah, it's, I mean, Ascent kind of... Well, it was really nice to see the first round. Obviously, Ascent just kind of crushed Guingamp. They didn't really have any idea how to deal with the sniper, it seemed. That was kind of rough for them. But then suddenly they seemed to adapt really, really well to it, with both the soldiers just getting so much pressure onto Credu. And that meant that finally Ascent did have to adapt to the Guingamp playstyle and go switch off sniper for a decent amount of it. And eventually they were just able to win the fight in Raw DM, I suppose. As we do have some logs I'm going to have a look at now.
Oof. Amarok. That's a good amount of damage coming out of Amarok. And Azunas. Azunas did a lot of work.
That's a pretty good number from Azunas. You know, you don't tend to expect your Roma to get 400 DPM. And not only is he getting 400 DPM, he's getting 260 only taken. So he was in extremely deep a lot of the time. Just really, Azunas and Amarok doing a lot in that game, with the nearest damage to either of them being Dr. Phil, who's on a measly 293, not even breaking 300 DPM on Viaduct. This demo. Come on.
I actually have a huge amount of respect for Azunas. I feel like he's one of the more underrated roamers in Prem. I feel like he always has a really good plan or thought process on how he takes his bombs. They do seem like a little bit different to everyone else, and I really like that about Azunas' playstyle.
Yeah, Azunas is. I mean, I've played with him for a long time. He's one of the smartest roamers in the game. Really, he's. I'd give him definitely a top 3 roamers in Prem in Europe at this point. Spot. He's up there. He's maybe even higher. You know, he's an absolute tank. He is very smart and has very good jumps and very good timing, and that's pretty much what you want from your roamer.
I think I voted for him for last season as roamer of the season, because I thought he played so damn well, and he proved it here. Like, I feel like they was constantly having to deal with Azunas being behind, or Azunas being just an absolute nuisance and just dealing so many damage onto players like Credu, doing really good coordinated bombs with callback. Like, some of the bombs that they were doing together was really, really smart. And I felt like it's a little unfortunate because you have Eemes and Silentes and Credu all on hit scan, mulching your soldiers whenever they can. But I feel like it was just really well played, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, certain points of that was just absolute madness from the Frenchies, you know, just crazy bombs. Hammer got, I think, 2-3Ks in a row with sticky traps, which is kind of unheard of. Probably contributing to that fantastic 400 DPM stat line that we saw. But yeah, it was...
I also felt Phil did a really good job. Not only his damage wasn't anything compared to Amarok and Azunas, but it's still a solid amount of damage. And I feel like he did some really good plays with his team where they were like using him as kind of a brute force into mid, and were able just to bully the Frenchies off all the time. It's really, really good.
Well, I think for the Frenchies, a lot of their plays really centered on their soldiers and demo, and, you know, Amarok taking the deep Ubers and then Callback and Azunas following up. You saw that a lot in that game. Whereas with Dr. Phil, he's not playing the same style as Amma, and particularly on Viaduct there. He's more just, you know, managing things, you know, being a rock for his team and letting his scouts and sniper do most of the work. Particularly his scouts, really. That was probably the main difference between the two teams there. Eemes and Sil just, probably out-DMing the other two just a little bit. And that was probably the main cause of, because obviously the scout class is pretty good on product.
I mean, Neo's 21-8 is nothing to shy away from, though.
That is true.
Like even if the kills were more on the side of Eemes and Silentes, like he has a a 2.6. I think he's the only one in the 2s in the game of kill-death ratio. So he kept himself alive, and I did feel like he was winning a lot of 1v1s against Salentes and Eemes, like a lot of the time Neo was.
Yeah, I think... Well, I mean, part of the story of that game, the Frenchies actually got 3k more damage than Ascent over the course of the map, but they did get 2 fewer kills. So that kind of speaks volumes because, well, Ascent were playing very methodically and just slowly picking off the Frenchies, whereas the Frenchies had a lot of like really crazy aggressive plays, but when it came down to it, they weren't quite as together as a team throughout the course of the map as Ascent were, although obviously they had a lot of very nicely coordinated plays that would lead them to win a lot of crushing fights. But with people just getting slowly picked off by Credy quite often, it did make it pretty hard for them.
I think, yeah, it's definitely a story of two halves. I feel like there's also a lot of really good raw skill on the side of the Frenchies, but it feels like they're not as heavily coordinated as Ascent are. But it doesn't surprise me because the French teams are new. Like they haven't really played a season together, whilst the Ascent roster has, and they've got everything already ironed out to a T.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think, you can see some of the like coordination between specific members of the team, like Korvac and Azunis, and probably Amrock as well. Their joint bombs and stuff have been very cool, but like the general coordination throughout the team, probably not quite there yet. And maybe potentially the scouts on Viaduct needed to be a little bit more vocal, or just commanding of the game in general, and just kind of lead their team through. But kind of when the soldiers and demo are going so aggressive like that, the scouts can kind of just get left behind, and all they can do is like chase and try and follow up, but they're not really close into the action often. But enough about products. We're on Gully Wash now, Grumpy.
Let's talk about Gully. I think I mentioned this to you before, but this is like my favorite map, especially for demos. I always feel like it's just an absolute joy to watch demo plays and stuff like that. So I'm super excited. I feel like we're going to see a lot of work on the mids from Azunis and callback coordination. And Amarok, if he keeps playing like he did on the product game, I feel like he's gonna start firing things off for his team. Yep. Predictions, go quickly. We're just about to go live.
I think that the Frenchies are going to continue their outplaying of Ascent, which they did in a decent part of that map, and they're going to do it across this map. And I actually think that the Frenchies are going to win this one 3-2. Bold prediction, probably biased. But there you go. As they do roll out to this first mid, Amarok getting some decent damage, but they have Steel's going to jump very deep onto this point now.
As Drac actually bombs quite hardly onto the French players, but Azunis is going to end up going down. But that's 2. Sand's actually going down. That's not good. Well played by Drac there, and this is going to cause all hold bars like just rush forward from the French players trying to get onto Connor, because they don't really want to risk having a uber push. It's so hard to hold that last. Neo actually goes down, and I feel like... Oh,
wow.
Whoa.
Huge pipes from Amarok there, killing Credy. I mean, Credy tried to push him in a choke point, and Amarok has pretty good aim, so it's not going to work too well for them. It was a nice re-push there to get actually, some delay out of that fight, as Sans will probably be able to get Uber for last here. Basically, the deciding factor there was Drac snuck in through elbow and did get the frag onto Sans, which kind of won them that middle. And Amarok's going to try and put up some damage on Choke here, but the Frenchies just going to be, Senate just going to be walking in. Amma's just about going to live. And actually, they're going to Uber through main really aggressively, though. They haven't capped the point, so this could be risky for Ascent.
Oh, that is unfortunate. They're trying to just get onto... Oh, nice jukes from Sans there, keeping himself alive. It's not an easy thing dodging shots from Eemes. He can nail you pretty easily, so good work from him. And that's actually brought the whole situation into an Uber advantage for the Frenchies, Eemes.
Yeah, definitely. I think Eemes getting a bit juggled by the sentry there, making it kind of hard for him to aim onto Sans. That Uber could have been really smart, but actually Sil will go aggressively onto a bomb for Sans. Oh, that's a nice rocket. He will actually get the force. He didn't actually need the force, but he wasn't really aware. He needed to keep better track of Salentes there. But yeah, it was a nice idea from Eemes, but unable to execute. Just getting juggled by the sentry and kind of missing that last crucial bit of damage.
Yeah, and Drax in behind actually. Right now he's going to get... Oh, he's going to deal with Azunis. I thought Azunis... 2 players have actually gone back for him, so... They could get a pretty decent hold right now, Ascent can. Just based on that, because they're not going to have any pressure onto them at any point.
Some really nice delay there by Drac. As actually, Amor will be playing very aggressively at this choke. I kind of don't like this. Could be caught out quite easily, but he will leave up top. It's a nice force from Korvac though onto Connor, and the Frenchie's going to be able to get back to last two with 70% Uber advantage pretty much. But both soldiers have actually gone down. He's just getting caught there, and the Ascent are just going to be rolling this straight into last. The Frenchies need to mount a strong defense or they're going to get rolled.
Yeah, Ascent are in very deep. Eemes is already on the point, ready to help that. Ascent just do what they always do. They just put Eemes on the point, and because they already had pressured everyone into spawn, there's nothing they could have done. Eemes just capped it up nice and quickly.
Yeah, it was a really nice force by Korvac, but he should really be the only one dying there. And as soon as getting caught in lobby, I think probably the part of the problem was that Ammo wasn't holding lobby as a demo man should be on this map, and made it kind of very free for Ascent to just walk through there. As we do see the second mid.
Yeah, and coming into the second mid, Solentes tries to create a bit of space. Neo's actually the first to go down though, but the Frenchies never actually tries to get onto Drac, but Drac's going to trade with him. Oh, nearly, but Azunis actually gets cleaned up there. Amarok!
Yeah, he got a little roller kill onto Connor there. But it will kill Phil as well. There's players all around him. He's placed to the left and placed to the right, and Eemes has snuck in and killed Sans there. So even though all of Ascent was on about less than 100 HP, playing demo against that is still not too easy because you're not a scout. You can't just click on people. You gotta hit them. And yeah, it's well, Ascent probably gonna be able to reclaim this mid and maybe even go to second here with a decent Uber advantage and heal advantage.
Yeah, they've spotted Korvac out. Korvac was seeing if he could get in the classic lamp holding position. Zudis actually goes down on the flank to Drac. Drac is super low though, but Credu, Solentes get picked up by the French players. Amarok just doing so much damage on all those players trying to come in.
Yeah, it was a lovely hold by Amarok onto the choke. He knows that Ascent really like to bust, off Uber. And Eemes is just going to be trying, even Credu in that situation, just trying to walk straight through the choke, get into him and, pressure him back, but he had the sickies completely ready, and now, actually, though, Ascent are going to be wrapping from Victor, they might even be able to catch out Sans. Sans doesn't have Uber, but he's just going to sit on top of point. Credu's going to go in deep for him. They really need to get this Uber, but Sans will go down at 95, so that's actually absolutely tragic for the Frenchies, and they're probably going to be losing this round now, almost.
Really good aggression from Ascent there. They knew that they had that little bit of an advantage, and they played off it so well, and there was nothing they could do. It was really well played by Ascent there.
Yeah, it's the Frenchies are doing a lot of things right, but the few little things that they're doing wrong are really costing them at the moment. If Sans had just been up top there, safe, then he would have been able to get that Uber. They could have had an Uber trade, probably even held second. But yeah, he's getting caught out there, and dying at 95% is pretty tragic.
And coming into this third mid, it's looking pretty good for the Frenchies. They do get a lot of pressure onto Phil, but Korvac does actually end up going down, and the Ascent players are starting to just clean house with their focus. They do get Never down as well, and there's only going to be Amarok and Sant left at the mid. Yeah, what went wrong?
Once again, we're seeing Hammer and Sant just hightailing it out of there. It was really quite unfortunate from Azunis. He got 100 damage onto Phil, and Phil was very weak up against the wall, but he was not able to get the second rocket, and Phil just about lived, then got arrowed up, and Azunis' mid was kind of over from that point onwards, and so he got cleaned up, and the rest of their aggression just didn't really work out too well, so yeah. But it is even Ubers here, so the Frenchies are going to be looking to mount a long last holder, though. Azunis has gone down on Spy, so this could trigger Ascent, just trying to go for a force here, probably.
Yeah, Ascent could easily go for a force or just try to get them onto point. Amarok already knowing that Credu's gone below. Actually, Korvac picking up Eemes and Credu, so that's actually some pretty good picks from him. He's doing a huge amount of pressure onto Phil, but Phil's having none of it. Ends up picking him out, and they're going to be able to maybe take second off that. Well played by Korvac.
They should be able to, although there has been 2 quick spawns from Ascent here, although Drax probably going to get caught out trying to hold close, so this should be a free pretty much point for the Frenchies if they take this correctly, although Credu is coming in from Victor here, might be trying to make something happen, and Sans is very weak up top, but it's a nice milk from him. Just kind of a even fight here, the Ubers are traded now.
Ubers have been traded by both teams, and Azunas is jumping left, right, and centre. And there's not that much. Oh, Sands just ends up going down to Phil. Nice chase from him. And there wasn't that much in the Uber's indifference, but sadly Sands did come out first, and he ends up going down, and he just causes a full frontal assault from Ascent. And that's going to be their third round. They are chewing through the Frenchies right now.
It was just a little bit too slow from the Frenchies in that push out. They allowed the respawns to get up, they allowed Sil to just jump up top and delay Sands so much, and then their final Uber trade out of top was just really, well, it was a lot worse, and getting very punished for that in the end.
Yeah, Eames is. I feel like the Frenchies have got the potential to do it, but it's just not quite coming together. As we come into this fourth mid, and Drac and Silentes work together to try and bomb onto the French players. They do take down Amarok. Korvac goes down as well, and with Nevo, Sands, and Azunas being the only players left alive, they're going to have to try and get out and not lose their medic. As Ans is really on the chase. Oh. That was right at Azunas' heels there.
Frenchie's looking a little bit lost on these mids, it has to be said. Once again, retreating all the way to the last, and it's actually a significant, well, it's a 15% Uber advantage for Connor here if they do want to try and make something happen off of it. Amma is holding close, he's probably just going to push them out now. And yeah, we do see another pretty strong mid from Ascent.
Yeah, Ascent are just very well coordinated, and it's all about their focus calls. You can tell that AMS is demanding a lot from them, but Zudas and Korvac do pick up Drac, but both soldiers have kind of... Oh, Sands!
Huge set from Sands there, actually. He could have, if he hadn't landed on that pipe, he may well have created. So really nice by him. And I would like to see the Frenchies start pushing out here. Although last time they did this, you know, the spawns from Ascent were just so quick that they made it really hard for them. But Azunas is going to go in deep, trying to force it onto Connor. Actually, no, he's just going to back out and pressure them out of choking. They've got a lot more position from the Frenchies, but Ubers are now traded.
Yeah, Ubers have now been traded once again, and the flashing's happening pretty poorly for Ascent, and they're going to lose theirs a little bit earlier than the Frenchies. They do take down Slenders and Arms. Credu, Connor, Phil, that's a wipe. Well played by the Frenchies there.
Yeah, it was a huge bomb at the end from Korvac just to recognise that the Ascent were just leaving pretty weak, and could just absolutely crush them in that choke, not let them leave at all. Actually, you know, last time they didn't execute the push out properly, but this time they did, and you know, really working out for them. This could definitely be a round for them if they play this last push correctly.
And I feel like the Frenchies are going to be able to stack up quite nicely. They just need to be watching for any traps or any off classes. The Credu sniper is always something that you've got to respect, but he's currently on engineer, so they're feeling like they're going to be able to just take this in, and they just need to deal with that sentry gun as quickly as possible.
Yeah, definitely. And, I mean, really, the issue here in this last push is probably going to be that whether they can lock Ascent into spawn on the right side. We'll see how the Frenchies decide to approach this. They've actually, yeah, they're heading through Shutter now. Going to be walking forward. They're going to take that Uber on their demo, actually. Walking quite aggressively. They've got the sentry down. They're all pushing to spawn, so this is looking pretty strong for them. It still is behind, though. He's going to get onto the medic. Some nice damage onto all the players on top right, and actually, he's going to probably, yeah, he's going to get so much damage. There's absolutely nothing those players can do. And getting shot by the heavy from spawn as well. So Sil was behind there, and really just completely destroyed their push. He was just completely unchecked.
And Azunas actually falling down. Sands kill binding. Yeah, it was really well handled by Ascent. Like, it was that classic pyro engineer like bait where you just air blast everything going on to the sentry, and it just slows down the Uber so quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was. I know they didn't really have anyone behind them in lobby, so Sil just went in there for free, completely alone, and then came back in for free, and no one even saw him until he had done about 300 damage. And at that point, the push was just kind of over. Although Azunas will go in and really aggressively here for the force onto Connor. Actually, we'll get a frag onto Silentes, not unexpectedly, but he will go down. No force for him, just a trade, and well, the Frenchies have 75% here, so Ascent could probably push this last if they're quick about it, but the Uber's coming up pretty soon with Sands.
Yeah, Drag's already started to spam the sentry gun. The sentry gun didn't even get to level 2, so it's already out. Ams and Credu, though, get picked up by some nice traps from Amarok. Drac behind, trying to bully him out, but the Uber has actually been used by Sands. They've lost Connor as well, so they could reset this, and the Frenchies could go forward off a really quite solid last hold.
It was a good hold, but I mean, really, they had won the hold before Sans even popped. They didn't really need to ever use that Uber. And I mean, it was kind of it's a safety pop from Sans, but I really think he could have milked it, and they could have had Uber advantage from mid here, a lot more than the 30% they currently have. And Amma has actually died to the sniper in Big Door. He's going to get another headshot as well, and this could definitely be the key for Ascent to just flood in through choke here. As he's trying to hold it off, but he's only one man, and he's going to get taken out.
As Ascent actually pushed really aggressively forward, Korvac trying to slow them down, and Solentes does end up going down, but they're not going to be able to hold this much longer. As Credu whips a headshot and a second kill onto Nevo. He's a menace on that sniper class.
Yeah, he is indeed. Just give him that one shot and he will take it. But it is a small advantage for the Frenchies. If Ascent do try to come closer, they could try and make something happen off of that. And Ams actually will get taken down pretty quickly. Sniper's peeking from River, but he will get pressured back finally. And it would be interesting to see if the Frenchies decide to do anything off this small Uber advantage that they do currently have. And it looks like probably not, although Nevo has gotten in behind. I don't think anyone knows he's there. Maybe making a play on the Connor.
He needs to be super sneaky right now.
Super sneaky.
Super sneaky. Go! No, this I'm not gonna cast this like it's Metal Gear Solid or something right now. Oh wait, actually.
Oh no.
Oh, he's in! He's on Connor! Oh, Connor got to half health. If one of the shot rang out, that would have been a force. That was a nice attempt from him.
Yeah, it was a pretty nice smoke from Connor actually. As Amma will be trading Ubers here, and not too much happening from that over there. There is still a pick advantage for Ascent for maybe a brief second. As Sil will go in very aggressively onto the medic here, gonna get one nice rocket, and Sans actually gone down from the double bomb from the soldiers, and this could just be the cue for Ascent to just back out slowly, although they are staying in, but it's a huge play from Amma onto Ams. But
Credu
has just been, as I've said this, just been killing everyone.
It's oh my god. Does that guy ever miss?
I don't know. I don't think so.
It's incredible. Like he just walks in on launchpad and just gets 2 headshots and strolls out.
Yeah.
He just makes it look so goddamn easy. I can't even hit like someone walking in a straight line. I am terrible at sniper, but that's beside the point.
I mean, to be fair, he does do like aim training constantly and this kind of thing, so I guess he's put the work in. It looks easy, but he does work hard for it. But Amron will be trying to hop very close here, but actually the Frenchies don't have Ubers. He might even get caught, but it's a nice surf out. There are no 6 on point, and Ams is just going to play it. This is going to be very difficult for the Frenchies to defend this now. Amron also going down for the sniper. It's looking terrible for them, what they have used, but it doesn't matter. Ascent are just going to cap.
Yeah, Phil just strolled onto the point and trapped it off, and that was the nail in the coffin for that round. 4-0.
It looks like my prediction is not coming true.
Yeah, I want the Frenchies to get back in this. I really, really do. I feel like they have some real potential in Prem with a few of their players. And Azunas in very, very quickly trying to get onto Phil, but distracting for callback, but Phil ain't having any of that. Drak goes down, so does Solentes, but they get Sans for their lives, so it's kind of worth it. And Amarok and Nevo, well, I was going to say Neo, but he's already out, are the only surviving French players left, and Nevo is so low. Amarok going in though. Connor!
Hits the pipe onto Connor, and Neva hits one shot onto him, but he's too far away for it to be 50. So, yeah, no frag onto Connor there. It was, I mean, we saw Drak and Solentes, they both went very, very high with their bombs, went in different directions, but landed in the same place, which was right in the sort of top of elbow, Guingamp side, and they both just completely destroyed Sans, and at that point, Ascent could just, slow it down, win out the fight with heals as they did, as they are looking to push this last now with a sizable Uber advantage once again.
And we're actually going to see Neo actually go on sniper as well, so we might get like a Credu. No, Credu's not on sniper right now, but he hit quite a nice headshot a moment ago, but it's probably not going to get enough of an angle, as Nevo does a good job on Pyro to deny the Uber callback. Even is doing pretty well. Phil gets headshot in the chaos, and this is an opportunity for Sans to take the Uber back in and crush Ascent, as Drak does go down, Connor goes down, Am's down as well. Woo! That was a nice little come out of spawn Uber from them there.
Yeah, Although we have,
Oh no.
amazingly, even though it's 6v2, the two
Cast
players
is
on Ascent,
cursed.
all of Ascent are getting taken out. I mean, sorry, the Frenchies are getting taken out. I have really no idea how that's happened. I guess the Frenchies just very uncoordinated in their push out there, and Ascent just, I mean, basically just Credu and Syl just taking full advantage of it, and Ascent are probably going to be trying to dry push in here with no demo for the Frenchies.
Yeah, they can do so as Phil actually just drops down, tries to deal a lot of damage, does pick up callback, and he's now in a prime position to just sticky off that point. I think this is going to be, yeah, it is. It's all she wrote. That's 5-0 to Ascent.
It is indeed. My prediction from earlier is looking somewhat optimistic.
You predicted this. Don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, I mean, I said it was a biased one, so there you go. I know. I feel like the Frenchies, they were not very clinical in that game. Just making, I mean, the main thing really came down to was the mids. Just their soldiers were unable to do really too much to get onto Connor on the mids, whereas Drac, I think he killed Sans almost all of them. And yeah, it's a valiant effort from the Frenchies, but in the end, it was not enough.
And we've actually got logs on stream. I'm actually interested to see this, but Amarok actually had the highest damage of the game. Once again, the guy doesn't stop.
Yep. It can sometimes actually be easier to get damage on demo when your team's winning.
Backpedaling.
But it's very well played by Amarok, but you know, it's just too much for them. You see Dr. Phil on the other hand, not doing too much damage, but the KD is beautiful. And yeah, it was just far too much from Ascent. I mean, you see, Credu's DPM is honestly amazing for a flank scout on Gully Wash. Like, you really, of all the players you'd expect to be second on the DPM there, really definitely not Credu, but you know, he makes it happen because he basically doesn't miss. Look at his sniper stats, and he went 6 for nil, 6 kills for no deaths in 3 minutes. So there you go. That's pretty insane.
And got 7 headshots in those 3 minutes.
He actually got about 600 DPM on sniper.
No way, did he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, yeah. He was just ringing out like crazy. And I do feel like it was down to the coordination of Solentes and Drac on those mids. Just they were communicating so well, and I felt like Azunas and Callback showed quite a lot of promise in product, but I don't feel like they gelled as well on this map, honestly.
Yeah, Azunas was not having as much fun with his bombs as he was on product. Like, I don't think he got, let's look at the Azunas frags on the enemy med. He got 2, but I don't think he was killing Connor very many times on the mids, which was basically the difference between the teams. The soldier aggression was definitely working for Ascent, and it really, really wasn't from the Frenchies.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at the med stats right now, and actually equal Ubers. I feel like Sans did a really good job considering. Let's have a quick look. 8 deaths, considering your team was losing 5-0, is actually not too bad. I feel like Sans did a really good job for his team. Some really good decisions on the Ubers. It's just a shame that they weren't able to kind of truly capitalize on those Ubers that they did get.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like a lot of the decent Ubers they had were ones where they just about got it on the last push and it enabled them to hold it. But they often, you know, sometimes they popped when they didn't even need to on the last. Sometimes they would get a few frags and then bleed players. It never really amounted to anything when it could have. But yeah, they didn't get back into any of the rounds that they were on their last.
Well, I haven't got really anything else to add. It was very one-sided on the mid fights, as you can see on the logs. I think, I don't think we're going to have anyone here for interviews. So, what do you think, Eemes? Shall we go to shout-outs and wrap it up? What are you thinking?
Yeah, sure. It was a short one today. You know, just a little
teaser. I do apologise. I was late. My it was just traffic. It wasn't fun. But my apologies on that one. But yeah, I've been GrumpyKoi. I've been joined by Beta on production, and my co-caster was Eemes. The reason I'm saying is I'm going to try and do it. So this was the ETF2L season 32 week 3 Ascent.eu versus Avant Guingamp.
Sure, perfect. 100%
That was
perfect.
so bad.
Zero mistakes in that.
Zero mistakes in that. But yes, thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you on the next one, guys. So yeah, thank you for everyone playing. I think, yeah, thanks. Bye.